There is one hard choice that every filmmaker has to make before they start a filmmaking career. Well, actually, they do it with every project, because every project is a new start, a fresh start when it comes to making a movie. Every project, every script has the same life. So this is a decision that happens way before pre-production. As a matter of fact, it happens somewhere in between you writing fade in and pre-production. And this is the decision that really marks the turning point in your project, whether it gets made or whether it doesn't get made. And that decision is simple. I'm not going to keep you waiting for the whole video to tell you what that decision is, but I would like you to watch the whole thing, because I'm going to tell you something at the end that's going to knock your socks off as to how to decide. Anyway, this decision is, do you want momentum or do you want control? Now, what do I mean by that? Momentum means, do you want things to happen? Do you want this movie to move forward? Do you want the movie to get funded? Do you want the movie to get so-and-so actor? I mean, there's so many elements to that part of the equation, the momentum part of the equation. We can go down a couple of examples to clarify that. And then, of course, control is 100% your thing, no matter what. You are the final decider. That is a simple decision that has to be made. Now, let me tell you why it's a hard decision to make. You probably know already. If you don't, let me clarify it for you. Momentum is the opposite of control in a sense, because you're giving up power to the people who can actually get it made. Odds are you're not sitting on millions of dollars and, you know, have Tom Cruise on speed dial. Paul Dano would probably do it, but then Tarantino would hate it. Anyway, momentum means you have a script and you give it to somebody and say, okay, great. This has happened to me. For example, my Western. I had a Western script. I'd mentioned it on a previous video. I love this thing. Very spaghetti Western style, very Sergio Leone. Loved it. So it was the most fun thing I've ever written at the time. I loved it, I still love it. Anyway, I wanted to direct it. I did what I thought was the right move, and at the time it was. And I said, okay, well, I don't have any money. Let me attach some names to it. A lot of people do this to raise money for the movie. Let's attach some names to it. And I reached out to Thomas Jane, because I'd heard him talk at Comic-Con that he was a big Western guy, and he has a website. And he says he reads everything he gets. Now that's rare, because most Hollywood actors do not. Let's go down this creepy alley while we talk. Hopefully we don't get killed. Most actors have agents. All actors usually managers that will be gatekeepers to that shit, or else people would be sending, Charlize Theron and whoever script after script is, hey, do this, do that. There's people down this alley. We'll go this way. They want to keep that away from them and only have projects that are going to go. Projects either with funding or a studio behind it, or some real momentum. Not a lot of this indie stuff, which happens a lot, and it's unfortunate. But if you're in a position where you need help and you're trying to build your name and get your movie made, there's only one way to do it. You just got to reach out and ask. Tom Jane was like, I read everything I get. I love Westerns. And I go, oh, okay. So I email him the script. I literally was not expecting anything to happen. Literally not. 2 weeks later, I get an email from his assistant. The assistant says, all right, Thomas would like to meet with you about your Western. And my mind is blown. I'm like, what, are you kidding me? No, this is a joke. Is this for real? And she's like, oh yeah, he wants to meet with you. Here's his address. Let's set up a time. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Anyway, long story short, he loved it. He wanted to do some rewrites. He had some notes, which I didn't love, but at the time I'm like, oh, I want him to be interested. But then here's the kicker. They kind of changed it. And this was the decision I had to make when it came to momentum versus, super total control of the project. He wanted to direct. You probably guessed that's where it was going. He wanted to direct, and I said, I have to think about that one, because I wanted to direct. In my mind, this is not my first movie. I had done other movies before, nothing major, but I had 4 movies under my belt at that point, more than he had made. He had made 1 film before, so he had directed before, but only 1 movie. But of course, he's a bigger actor, more money, more connections than me, so he had that upper hand on me. He goes, I want to direct it. If you want me attached, I want to direct. So I sat with it. I go, let me think about it, man, because this is like, I see this as my Reservoir Dogs, even though it's my 5th movie or whatever. Then I talked it over with my wife, who's a genius, and I said, look, if I say no, then he walks away and I'm stuck with nothing. But I give up that control. But if I say yes, this movie could be made and it could be a massive success for me. And I put my name on something really, really, really big and great. Called him up, yeah, you can direct. And he was like, great, let me option it for my production company. Let's do some notes. I changed it up to fit what he wanted. Hopefully the traffic's not too bad sound-wise. I prefer the walk and talk videos myself. Honestly, I just feel this is more natural, more intimate. We get some nice nature, get to breathe some fresh air, I get my steps in. And you can do that too, actually. Go on a walk while you're listening, or don't watch and walk, because you'll probably trip. If your neighborhood's very dangerous. Anyway, sorry. beside the point. So I decided to give up that control and give him the directing reins and make him a producer. Now, he was a producer with the power to make changes and get people involved, and he did. He got Nick Nolte, Al Pacino, Jeremy Irons, Danny Trejo, got all these people attached to the movie, which is something I couldn't do on my own. So by giving up control and allowing that momentum, I was able to get the movie further along than I could have ever done it on my own, even with a producing partner. But we were both at the same level of abilities to get anybody attached or listen to us or take us seriously. I mean, my script was read by Frank Darabont, Akiva Goldsman. Like, these are like Academy Award winning screenwriters. They read my script. They gave me notes. I didn't get to meet him, unfortunately, but I mean, I met Darabont at another time, but it's amazing. It's amazing. So there are benefits to giving up control, especially when you're starting out, because I mean, there's no other avenues left to you. If you have somebody who can power it through the finish line, it's okay. There'll always be another movie. There will always be another project. Now, the bad news at the end of the rainbow is that movie didn't get made. There was money in place. Then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, money fell through, and then everybody vanished, disappeared, ghosted me.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Hey, what happened? What happened? Where's the movie? What's going on? Oh, we're waiting on the money. Months go by, nothing. What's going on? Is it dead? Yeah, it's dead. Sorry, kid. And then that was it. It's over. It's unfortunate, but it happens. But that's an example of momentum, giving up control for momentum to make the movie happen. Now, what happens if you keep control? If you make the decision, I'm going to keep control. This is not my example. This is Sylvester Stallone's example. Now, the problem with this is would never work 100% nowadays. This is the 70s. Stallone wrote Rocky. Everybody loved it. Loved it. They wanted to make it. I think they wanted to hire De Niro, if I'm not mistaken, somebody like that. And Stallone's like, no, if you want this movie, I'm playing Rocky. And he held firm. He wanted that control. He wanted to be Rocky. He wanted to really kickstart his acting career with this part. It turns out he was fucking perfect for it. They agreed. And then now it's a masterpiece and it's a multi-million-dollar franchise. That's something that would never happen nowadays. If I said, no, I'm playing Marty Supreme or I'm playing Superman, that will 100% never happen. Never, never, never. Which is unfortunate, but that's the reality of where we are in the industry, that people would take risks on artists back then. Nowadays, not so much. So control, what does control buy you? 100% of potentially nothing. Now, I'm not saying always give up control, because I am a writer-director. I 100% always want to be a writer-director. If, like the Western, there's a position where somebody has more money, more clout, and can potentially get the movie, like I said, to the finish line, then I will step aside for that. But I don't like to 100% give up the control of the directing, because that's really where the movie's made. The writing is one thing, but the directing is really where the movie is sculpted. So I don't love to give that up, usually. And that's why I usually direct the movies I write. There's one film I made, a found footage movie that didn't really have a script, but there was an outline by another writer. That film was called Heretics. I had a lot of fun making that. It was a great directing exercise because I'm at the cast day of. There was no script, we just had an outline of what we were going to do and didn't have a shot list or anything. I'm like, let's just shoot from the hip. We're making a found footage movie. Let's literally find the movie as we're making it. And I think it came out really well. I'm very happy with it. But that's an example of sort of giving up control to a degree, but still having the control at the same time and having it sort of be a successful thing. The problem is, nowadays, the decision you should make, because it's hard to make movies, it's hard to make money making movies, and it's hard to get money making movies, that you have to decide whether you want to wait 5 to 6 years to make, like I think Anora took like 6 years to get funded. And this was Sean Baker, a guy who's had a track record, who's had big movies released in festivals, he's worked with big actors, yada, yada, yada. This was not a nobody off the street, or somebody like me who's just made sort of indie B movies, regardless of whether they're theatrical or not. So he was having issues funding the movie. So imagine you coming off sort of a blank slate. You have to make a decision. Do you want to spend 6 years busting your ass trying to fund this movie? Or do you want to spend potentially a year or less sometimes giving the movie to somebody else to make it a reality? That's your decision right there. So let me give you my big piece of mind-blowing advice that I promised you at the beginning. If you stay to the end, thank you so much. Drop a thumbs up on the video and down below, hashtag filmmaker journey, so that I know that you are on a filmmaking journey. Everybody's journey is different. I'd love to hear more about yours, by the way. Leave it in the comments, please. Tell me more about yourself. I want to know more about you. This is important. This is a community thing. I don't want to just feel like I'm talking to nothing. I'm talking to you, and I'm wishing you the best of luck here. Hopefully I'm helpful in some way. Anyway, here's my big mind-blowing piece of advice. The decision every filmmaker makes, whether a project gets made or not. Momentum versus control. Always choose momentum. Always choose momentum. And I'll tell you why. If you're you're a writer, no matter the script, no matter how much you love the damn thing, you're always gonna write something else that's really great, that's gonna blow your mind, even better maybe than the one you're working on. Always choose momentum. I have a time travel script that I love. I wanted to direct it. There's producers in Canada who wanted to option it, but they're making it in Canada, so they can't hire me as a director. And I had to give it up because I wanted the movie made. I wanted the story told. And a movie made is better than a movie sitting on your hard drive. That's the tall and short of it. A movie made is better than one sitting on your hard drive. So always choose momentum, my friend. Always choose momentum. Oh, you're not gonna direct? That's fine. Odds are you're gonna get paid for whatever you're doing. Momentum means not doing it for free. I'm saying option it, sell it to a producer, that kind of stuff. Assuming you wrote the thing, that is. If you're just a director, that's different. Control is the only thing that you have. So this is specifically writer-directors. Always choose momentum. You'll be able to write something else down the line. That's not gonna be your last thing, but get the movie made. Number one, get the movie made no matter what. Get the damn movie made. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. You are amazing. I wish you the best of luck. As a matter of fact, I think you're gonna kill it. Let's get it.